These are three amazingly great compact prime lenses that are not only awesome for any Sony full-frame camera, but even more so when you combine them with some of the more compact bodies in the lineup. These lenses are fantastic for all kinds of photography, from street to portraits and beyond. And the first one that I use as my everyday walk-around lens is the Sony 24mm F2.8 G series lens. 24mm is a common focal length for many people these days, since the main lenses on most smartphones are at or around that 24mm focal length. With that, it makes it an awesome option to capture pretty much anything that you'd run into when you're out shooting. For my portrait work, 24mm allows me to not only capture the person that I'm photographing, but to also incorporate the environment. Pairing it up with my Sony Alpha 7CR is an easy choice, as it gives beautiful, sharp results without taking up a lot of space in my camera bag. The design of the lens is also noteworthy for me for a few reasons. Even though the lens is so small, they managed to add some useful functions like an aperture ring that can be declicked using this switch, a focus hold button that adds features that can be customized in the camera menu, and the ability to switch from auto to manual focus right on the barrel of the lens. The Sony 24mm f2.8 G series lens is one of three different lenses that I call baby primes. And while all three of these lenses could have easily made it onto this video, there are two other lenses that I'd love to use. One of the earliest lenses in the Sony full-frame mirrorless lineup was a lens that I heard so much about, mostly for its ability to capture sharp images and amazing bokeh. That lens is the Sony 55mm f1.8, and if you've ever shot with this lens, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. It's easily one of my favorite Sony lenses of all time for a few reasons. One would be that fast f1.8 aperture that can be used in low light situations or to separate your subjects from your background. Of course, it's small and compact, but unlike some other prime lenses out there, it's built solid and it feels like a quality product in your hands. It's one of those things that gives me confidence when I'm outdoors shooting, and I think that it's something that people will really appreciate when they use it for themselves. Another thing with this lens that I loved was that when I would use it for shooting portraits, I would not only get a beautiful defocused background when I needed it, but I didn't have to sacrifice getting my subjects looking sharp. That's something that's been a big part of the images that I produce, as it's much easier to add character to a photograph in post-production than it is to start off with a sharp, detailed image right out of the camera. When you pair this lens up with a high-resolution camera like the Sony Alpha 7CR, it's just crazy how fun it is to use and get great shots in the process. So we've talked about a 24 and a 55mm lens, and you might be like me and you're wanting a lens on that telephoto side of things. One of my absolute favorite prime lenses of all time is the Sony 85mm f1.8 lens. Here on the Alpha Universe channel, you'll see me using this lens all the time for my professional portrait work, and on certain days, I can go through an entire portrait session using just this one lens. Now, this lens is the largest of the three lenses on today's list, but don't let that fool you. Even when you take a lens like this and you put it on a compact Alpha 7C camera body, you'll notice that it doesn't feel like the lens is front heavy. It just feels great in the hands. Beyond that, the image quality coming from this lens is top notch. And of course, that f1.8 aperture can be used to get stunning bokeh in pretty much any kind of lighting situation. I think a case could be made that with these three lenses, you could pretty much go out and shoot a large percentage of situations, and of course, get that in a compact package that doesn't compromise on quality. I keep these on rotation as I go out and shoot every single day with my Alpha 7CR. And with that, I'd love to hear your top 3 lens list in the comment section below. While you're there, be sure to subscribe to the channel to stay up to date with everything happening in the Alpha universe. And before you head out, be sure to check out the playlist that you see here on screen to watch some of my favorite videos on the channel. I'll see you next time.